Hey guys, real quick, you've been watching my videos, you've been thinking about coming out here over the road, and you're thinking about coming to Prime. You know, fill out the application, put me down as a referral. As a matter of fact, in the description of the video, there's a link to the application. Fill that out and then follow up after you fill out the application. All right, guys?
Move your body to the beat. Piernita para aquí, piernita para allá, moviéndola así.
All right, what's going on? It's me, Junior. I'm gonna talk a little bit about what needs to be learned, what you are needing to be taught during the PSD part of training. Now, keep in mind that everybody's gonna be different as to the extras, because there's a couple things that you need to learn as a PSD student, a couple things you need to understand as a PSD student. We'll talk about those a little bit, not much, but first you gotta understand as a PSD student, you have to come in, you have to have that mindset that you're gonna come out here and you gotta get it. You gotta drive, back, sleep, drive, back, sleep, drive, back, sleep. All that, right? You can't come out here thinking you're gonna lounge. You can't come out here thinking this is a scenic ride, okay? When you're driving PSD, no cell phones allowed. In my truck, I ask my students to put their cell phones on vibrate or on silent. I ask them to give their family members my phone number in case of an emergency. They can reach me while the student is driving. So you can't come out here and expect things to fall into place. It takes two, all right? Keep that in mind, people. It takes two to mingle. All right, so first thing, as a PSD student, you have to learn to log in and out of the QUALCOMM. You know, the trainers are not, the trainers are supposed to teach you this stuff, show you this stuff. You have to log in, log out yourself. You know, it's something that you have to do. You're going to be doing it on a daily basis, because if the trainer drives, then you have to log in after that, you know, the drive and whatever. Another thing that you have to do the majority of the driving. Drive, drive, drive. That's the only way to get good at whatever it is you need to be doing. In this case, driving is a big part, because one of the parts of the CDL exam is driving. Another thing that you have to learn, that you have to do often, is backing. Backing is a crucial thing to this whole CDL thing. It's one of three. So you got the driving, then you got the backing. Back up as much as you can. Back up at shippers, receivers, back up at truck stops, not only in open lots. And if there's a chance, back up between trucks. And if you back up between trucks when you get to the terminal and test out or practice during the pad time, you're gonna look at the cones and you're gonna be like, I got this. I backed up between trucks, I can back up between the $2 cones. It's gonna be nothing to you. Pre-trip, you have to make sure that you study the pre-trip. If you're coming into Prime or any company, you want to make sure that you study your pre-trip. Study it, study it, study it. Eat it, sleep it, dream it, eat it again, get up the next day and do it all over again. Pre-trip is a big part. Like, it's pre-trip, backing skills, and driving. Those are the three parts to the CDL exam. So pre-trip is a big part as well when it all comes together. So if you have any questions, the trainer's supposed to be teaching you this stuff, all right? Obviously, the student does not know where the parts are, so the trainer's supposed to show them and tell them what to say, what not to say, how to do it, and how to go about it, all right? So the trainers are supposed to be having you drive as much of the time that they can. Do pre-trip, show you where all the parts are, not just say go out there and do the pre-trip, because as a student, you don't know where this stuff is, right? So you have to get the trainers to tell you, show you these parts. If they don't know, they need to say something. Hey, I don't know where this is or where that's at. Let's find the answer. there's nothing wrong with not knowing something, because some of these trainers may have a student for the first time. Trainers, don't be afraid to say you don't know. There's nothing wrong with that. It does not change the way you are. It doesn't change anything about who you are if you say, I don't know. But don't make the student assume that you know everything or know this or know that when you really don't. I mean, there's nothing wrong with fessing up that you don't know and find the answer and move on. You know, with my first student, I remember I told him, I said, look, we're here to learn from each other. You're my first student. We're going to get this done. We're going to get it done right. So, yes, pre-trip, driving, and backing. The three things that you have to be doing the most. Your QUALCOMM pin. Only you are supposed to know that pin. Nobody else. Not even your, trainer, not even your dispatcher, not even your friend. Nobody. You. Only you. The QUALCOMM pin is the pin that logs you into the QUALCOMM. You know, only you are supposed to know that. Trainer's gonna show you how to use the mirrors frequently. That's something that you have to learn to do. You can't just be one of these race horses that are got blinders on and you just driving down the road looking like this, like, yeah, okay. No, you can't be doing that. You gotta be looking frequently, you know what I mean? And trainer's supposed to teach you that stuff. Turn wide, that's another one. Learn to turn wide. Always keep that wide. Don't go too wide now where you're gonna take up the whole street, but go wide enough to where you're not gonna hit anything. And the trainers as well is supposed to teach you that stuff, what to look for on the tandems and the trailer tires and whatnot. As a student, you're supposed to ask questions all the time. Ask questions. Dig your trainer's brain. You know, pick his brain. Ask him this, ask him that. There's nothing wrong. When the trainer gets upset, is probably because he doesn't know and he wants to continue to sound that he's giving you the right answer, but maybe he's not. I mean, like I said, there's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know, but let me find the answer out for you. You know what I mean? Let me find the answer for you and we'll move on. That's how one person gets better, and that's how the student gets comfortable with you as a trainer, saying, hey, I don't know. Okay, cool. Nobody was born knowing everything, so as a student, ask questions. Why this? Why that? Boom. You know, anything. When you're told to do something, I personally tell my students why they're doing it, and you as a student, you want to know why you're doing it. So if you're asked to do something, ask why. Again, there's nothing wrong with asking why. Let me see. You're supposed to learn the control panels, the dash, the speedometer, where the engine brake is, where the cruise control is. Even though you're not going to use the cruise control when you're in PSD, it's only foot. So at least know where the gauges are, the air pressure. You know, in case something were to happen, where's this? Where's the oil pressure? Water temperature. What else? Let me see. The four ways. You know, basic stuff. Ask where that's at. Trainers are supposed to teach you that, show you that. All right. When to use the four ways. You're supposed to use the four ways at any ship or receiver, when you're backing up, etc. There'll be other instances where you may have to use the four ways. So make sure that you are clear on when to use the four ways, because a four-way is a international language as to something's wrong, or you're slowing down, or something backing up. So just make sure that you use the four ways and ask when to use the four ways. And again, you're supposed to be taught this. 30-minute break. When do you take a 30-minute break? Understand the basics of that. Basics. You don't want to just stop and don't know why you're stopping. Next thing you know, you're done for the day. Like, wait, when do I take my 30? Understand the basics of that. All right? 30-minute break. You want to understand the basics. Again, this is stuff. The main things you're supposed to be doing is driving, backing, and pre-trip. All right? And always learn to drive with two hands on the wheel. Again, trainers, you're supposed to teach the students two hands on the wheel, because that's how they're going to be tested. They're not going to be driving one hand on the wheel, leaning back, blah, blah, blah. No. They're going to be pointed out. Two hands on the wheel at all times. Another thing, which is a plus, if everything is going well with you on the PSD side, everything is working out fine, you're doing everything, pre-trip, backing, driving, you feeling comfortable, you and the trainer feeling comfortable, then I would suggest the trainers and start implementing the fueling. Understand the basics of fueling. All right? Understand the basics of fueling. Even when the trainer fuels, as a PhD student, help them. There's nothing wrong with helping fuel. It'll get you to understand more of what he does and how he does things. So when you guys go into the TNT phase, it's not a surprise. You know, and this is extra stuff that you guys may oversee, overlook, but it helps. So again, guys, these are some of the things that you're supposed to be doing as a PhD student and driver, and as a trainer, you're supposed to be teaching this stuff. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, you know, you guys put them in the comments. I'm gonna try to get to them as much as I can. There's my email in the bottom. If you have any other questions, I get to my emails when I can as well. I'm a busy guy. I give my student priority over anything, so I got to make sure he's good before anything. Real quick, another thing too before I go, just something again you guys want to get to know is the APU, the basic controls of the APU, when to turn it on, when to turn it off, how does it work? Because if your trainer leaves the truck for a moment and you're inside the bunk, you're studying your pre-trip, doing your thing, and you're getting pretty warm up there or pretty cold, how does the bunk heater work? Where do I turn it on and off? How does the APU work? Where do I put it, cold, hot, whatever, you know what I mean? Understand the basics of that as well. So that will, you know, help you guys feel comfortable in the back, as opposed to if I leave the truck and my student's in the back and it's 80 degrees in here and he's like, man, you know, I don't even know how to work that thing. I'm here to get my CDL. Yes, you're here to get your CDL, but some of the things you want to know and understand as well. So APU, learn the basics of that. All right. So there you guys have it. I just went through a list of certain things that you guys are supposed to be doing, trainers are supposed to be teaching. If you guys aren't being taught this, speak up, because this is your future, your life, your CDL, your career. All right? Speak up. There's nothing wrong with speaking up, people. Reach out to me. I'll point you in the right direction. I have no problem. You know, so, you know, it takes two now. Don't get me wrong. It takes two. You have to do your part. And again, when you come out here, bring your A game. You can't come out here half butt. Like somebody told me one time, you gotta come in full butt. And I'm not saying ASS, all right? But that's what I mean. You gotta come in here, give your 200%. Family depends on this, your future. So, all right, guys. I hope this was helpful. I will have another video coming back out with a TNT part. So, if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching.
Bitch, I wanna party like